Chapter 1983. The Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition was just a few days away. After Xiao Lian's grandfather was caught that day, he was secretly kept in custody by the police. Especially when the higher-ups issued an urgent document, they were not allowed to release him regardless of the reason. It was said that this thief might be involved in a bigger case and they needed time to verify it. This was also related to the disappearance of several precious cultural relics. Xiao Lian's grandfather might not contact Xiao Lian for 10 days to half a month. Naturally, Xiao Lian did not know that her grandfather had been caught because he had failed to steal the night luminescent pearl. Moreover, there were countless pieces of evidence that pointed to him being related to several cases of missing cultural relics. Even if someone knew about it, there was no chance for him to be released on bail. After going to school, Xiao Lian went to the club to train. Her cooperation with Jiang Yandong was getting better and better. Apart from training games, the two of them still did not see eye to eye with each other. They often bickered with each other. But at crucial times, the two of them had a tacit understanding. The so-called relationship was formed by quarreling. Although the two of them still did not see eye to eye with each other, it was still the same. But in their hearts, something had already taken root and sprouted. The system had already told Tang Guo all these things. She did not mind at all. She would update her video every day. Her fans had already habitually turned on their phones to watch videos taken from bad locations. Listening to her gentle and sweet voice always made them feel better. From the beginning, they did not approve of her. But now, they liked this simple and infatuated girl from the bottom of their hearts. Her life was really too simple. Apart from eating and sleeping, she would shoot videos and nag at them about Jiang Yandong. Basically, she would go to the club every day. Sometimes, she would ask Jiang Yandong to shoot a video with her. Many times, they realized that she would ask the only female member in the team, Xiao Lian, to shoot videos and take photos. She would even ask them if Xiao Lian was very pretty. Occasionally, she would tell them that Xiao Lian would play with Jiang Yandong in the future. She told them that the coach had said that Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong's cooperation was perfect. She even said that she was looking forward to that day's competition. At first, they didn't find anything. After all, what Tang Guo had shared was about the club. Moreover, all the people that were presented were in that phone frame. Gradually, they began to pay more attention to Xiao Lian. Xiao Lian had a public account, so she naturally gained a wave of fans. Xiao Lian was flattered by the fact that she had gained fans who called her every day. It was the day of the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. Since Tang Guo could not see, Jiang Yandong naturally did not expect it. He told her in advance that he would buy a ticket and take her to see it. He didn't even talk to Tang Guo about the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. He thought that she didn't know about it. However, for some reason, he had bought 2 tickets beforehand. An exhibition. Xiao Lian was a little surprised. What exhibition? She didn't think about the night luminescent pearl at all. After all, she thought that the night luminescent pearl had been stolen by her grandfather long ago. Even if she went today, she probably wouldn't be able to see it. The night luminescent pearl. It's said to be the biggest night luminescent pearl in the world. Jiang Yandong said, I bought 2 tickets before, but then I remembered that Xiao Guo couldn't see it. If I took her to that place and she couldn't see it, it would only make her sad. If you don't have anything to do, let's go together. Chapter 1984. Xiao Lian didn't reject him. She only hesitated for a moment before agreeing. She thought so too. If Tang Guo couldn't see and brought her to see the night luminescent pearls, wouldn't that be stabbing her in the heart? Everyone else seemed to be busy today and Jiang Yandong was going to see the exhibition alone. She felt a little sorry for him. He didn't dare to bring Tangua to see the exhibition, afraid that he would poke at her sore spot. All right. Although you're usually a little annoying, it's quite pitiful to think that you're going to see the exhibition alone. Because of this sentence, the two of them started fighting again. In the end, they went to the exhibition hall together. The system asked softly. At the same time, it scanned the surroundings to see if a certain guy was around. After a while, it indeed detected a certain guy who was approaching Tangua. However, that guy didn't seem to be alone today. There were a few young men and women around him. They were all chatting and laughing as they walked over. Lin Xian saw Tangua standing outside the exhibition hall at first glance. He couldn't help but quickly walk in front of her. Just as he was in front of her, he heard her voice. "Mr. Lin, is that you? Ha, you noticed me again. Miss Tang's nose is really sharp." Lin Xian put his hands in his pockets. If it wasn't for his shiny bald head, he would have attracted a lot of attention. Even so, there were still people looking at him because he was too outstanding. A few others also came forward. When they saw Tangua, they looked at each other. Tangua was now an internet celebrity with a lot of fans. They all knew her. Even in the past, they still knew her. Who wouldn't know Jiang Yandong's fiancé? "Are you waiting for someone here?" Lin Xian asked. Actually, he didn't want to ask this question. "Are you here with your fiancé to see the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition?" Linli also asked, "Did Jiang Yandong, that rascal, go to buy snacks for you?" This group was all straight. From his point of view, Tangua was standing at the entrance of the exhibition hall with Jiang Yandong. Why wasn't Jiang Yandong by her side? He must have gone to buy snacks that little girls liked. She was his fiancée. Of course, he had to pamper her and buy her delicious food. Wasn't that what he should do? That brat is too careless. No matter what, he should have brought you along to buy it. There are so many people coming and going. If he lost you, let's see if that brat would be anxious. The reason why Linli didn't sound like he hated Jiang Yandong was because Jiang Yandong was willing to take care of Tangua and get engaged to her. Such an opponent was worthy of respect. Tangua smiled and shook her head. "No, I didn't come here with Brother Yandong." Before Lin Xian could say anything, Linli frowned. "It's already so late. Why didn't that kid accompany you here? What is he doing?" Lin Xian felt a little helpless. His cousin always snatched the words. "Brother Yandong said that he has something to do and will be back a little later today. I was just passing by and heard that there was an exhibition here. It was the world's largest night luminescent pearl. I was a little curious, so I stood here for a while." Tangua had a sweet smile on her face. She said calmly, "If I knew that there was such an exhibition, would have asked Madam Chin to book the tickets for me. Well, I'll go back first. I won't disturb you guys." System, where's the host's conscience? Chapter 1985. Since we're already here, how can we go back? It's a rare night pearl exhibition. If we miss this chance, we don't know when we'll get another one. Linli hurriedly said, "Come in with us. Although it's inconvenient for you, it's still better to be close to it than not. Brother Lei is right. This night pearl will be exhibited in many cities in the country. After the exhibition, it will be hidden away. You won't be able to see it again even if you want to. Since we're already here, let's go in and take a look." Although Brother Lei always stole his words, he was right about what he said earlier. Tangua pursed her lips and said, "But I didn't buy a ticket, so I can't go in." System, he seemed to have smelled the scent of a White Lotus host. She was really good at pretending. "Tangua, you definitely don't know who this exhibition belongs to, right?" The person who spoke was a girl. She walked over and hugged Tangua's arm. She smiled and said, "This biggest night pearl belongs to the Lin group." Hence, the exhibition this time also belonged to the Lin group. "My surname is Lin. My cousins and everyone in our circle have the surname Lin. Do we need a ticket to go in and see the exhibition?" "Oh right, I'm Lin Tong. We've met before, but not twice. It's been a long time. Do you still remember? We used to participate in a piano competition together." Tangua tried to recall and nodded. "I remember. You played the piano quite well. No matter how good I was, I couldn't compare to you. Alright, come in with us. We're schoolmates. We competed together, so we can be considered half friends. To be honest, none of us have seen this night pearl before. The old ones at home are so afraid that something will go wrong. They don't want us to see it." Under Lin Tong's complaints, they pulled Tangua in. Lin Xian was on the other side of Tangua. She couldn't see anything wrong with his face. He didn't talk to Tangua either. It was as if they weren't close. No one knew that he had met Tangua countless times and had told her all kinds of exciting events during the competition. Lin Tong was a very outgoing girl. It should be said that the young boys and girls of the Lin family all had good personalities. Even though Tangua couldn't see, Lin Tong kept holding on to Tangua's hand. Every time they reached a place, she would stop and tell Tangua what the jewelry in front of them looked like. Occasionally, Lin Xian would interject and describe the beautiful jewels to her with the most accurate words. Linli would occasionally say a few words, but most of the time, it was Lin Tong and Lin Xian doing the talking. It wasn't until 9:30 that the world's largest luminous pearl was placed at the highest point and presented before everyone's eyes. Under the bright lights, countless people stared at the luminous pearl in a daze. Because it was really big and beautiful. After Lin Tong recovered from her shock, she described the scene of the night luminescent pearl to Tangua. Lin Xian did not fall behind. He added from the side and even suggested that they take photos of Tangua. Tangua directly asked him to help record the video. She stood together with Lin Tong and behind them was the night luminescent pearl. She smiled at the camera and said, "When I passed by the exhibition hall, I heard that there was a night luminescent pearl on display. I met a schoolmate who invited me in to see the night luminescent pearl very enthusiastically. Although I can't see the night luminescent pearl, from my schoolmate's enthusiasm and description, I know that this pearl must be very beautiful. It's a pity that Brother Yen Dong said that he had something to do and couldn't come." System. This was a good trap. Chapter 1986. Tangua smiled and even allowed Lin Xian and the rest to show their faces in the video. Even though they were competitors with Jiang Yandong's team, they had no qualms about it at all. They knew Tangua in the past. Tangua and Lin Tong were in the same batch and had even participated in a piano competition together. As for the rest, other than Lin Xian, they were all seniors of Tangua's batch when she was in school. They had all met and known each other before. They did not think that there was anything wrong with their identities appearing in the video. When Tangua uploaded the video, it was instantly viewed by countless fans. Fan 1, "Oh my god, did you see those familiar faces in the video? Can you believe it?" Fan 2, "Oh, it's actually them." Fan 3, "Why is Xiaoguo with them?" Fan 4, "Didn't you hear what she said just now? She passed by the exhibition hall and bumped into them. I remember that they are all from the same school. That's our Tong Tong. I remember now. Tong Tong said that she used to have a great rival and that was Xiaoguo." The fans started to talk about it. They remembered that the girl who had lost her eyes was once a talented piano player. Since they were from the same school and knew Lin Tong, it made sense that the rest of them would appear in the video. Fan 5, have you seen the exhibition? Fan 1, no, I'm busy. I have classes every day. Even if I skip classes, I have to be able to get a ticket. Fan 4, I'm here. I'm going to find Xiaoguo and my beloved Tong Tong now. Since I saw them, I have to get their autographs. Fan 2, it's a pity that Jiang Yandong is not here. No wonder Xiaoguo is with them. If Jiang Yandong were here, she would be very happy. Unknowingly, the fans' attention had shifted to Tangguo's side. Now everyone knew that Tangguo was with Lin Tong and the rest by chance. She did not come with Jiang Yandong because Jiang Yandong said that he had something to do. Many fans were also in the exhibition hall. However, everyone was busy looking at the exhibition, so not many people noticed the post. At this moment, Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian gradually moved closer to Tangguo in the crowded exhibition hall. System, I see. Tongzi, you're becoming more and more considerate. Let's go over there then. System, alright, this woman is really bad. Tangguo pulled Lin Tong to Jiang Yandong's position without a trace. It's really a pity that brother Yandong didn't come. Otherwise, he would definitely appreciate such a resplendent treasure. Tangguo said with some regret. Lin Tong comforted her. The exhibition will last for 3 days. He can't possibly be busy during these 3 days, right? If you're really regretful, call me tomorrow night with Jiang Yandong. I'll bring you in. Thank you so much, Lin Tong. You're welcome. You're my only opponent. Speaking of this, Lin Tong still felt a little regretful. She was such a good person, but she couldn't see him just like that. It made her feel that something was missing in her piano career. Lin Tong inadvertently raised her head and froze on the spot. When she came back to her senses, she quickly pulled Lin Xian beside her and whispered, Brother Xian, look at who that is. See if I'm mistaken. Lin Xian raised his head and saw Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian slowly walking over. His eyes, which had been full of smiles, became cold. What's wrong? Tangguo felt that the surroundings had quietened down and asked. System, excitement, they're here. Chapter 1987. It's him. Lin Xian said softly, but he instinctively stood in front of Tangguo. Tangguo continued to ask, what happened? Can you tell me? Lin Xian, Lin Li, and Lin Tong looked at each other. They looked at Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong, who were approaching from afar. Their faces were full of surprise. They did not know what to say. Previously, Tangguo had said very clearly that Jiang Yandong told her that he was busy, so he definitely did not have time to come to the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. Moreover, the tickets for the exhibition hall were sold a month in advance. Although the exhibition hall would keep a portion of the tickets, in case the tickets were leaked or given away, it was 3 days in advance. In any case, there was no way to sell the tickets in such a short time. Unless they, the Lin family, brought the guests in. In summary, Jiang Yandong had gotten the tickets for the exhibition hall at least 3 days in advance. He knew about the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition, but he did not tell Tangguo. They remembered clearly that Tangguo said that she passed by here and heard about the biggest Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. Then, could they conclude that Jiang Yandong knew about the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition and got the tickets, but he did not intend to tell Tangguo about it? No matter what the reason was, they felt that Jiang Yandong was wrong. If they considered that Tangguo could not see and he came alone or asked a friend of the same sex to come, although they would feel that it was wrong, at least they would not have any messy thoughts. But Jiang Yandong lied to Tangguo and said that he was busy. In the end, he invited a beautiful woman to watch the exhibition with him. Most importantly, this woman was his most compatible teammate. A subtle feeling pervaded the air around them. They looked at Tangua's puzzled face and did not know if they should tell her about it. If they did not tell her, it would be lying to her. She was alone and had the right to know what her fiancé was doing. If they told her, would she be sad? It was said that for people with impaired vision, their entire world was dark. It was precisely because of this that they were the most sensitive. It was hard for them to imagine if she would mind or be sad after knowing the situation. Tong Tong. Xiao Guo. Just as they were surrounding Tangua, preventing Jiang Yandong from discovering her existence and preventing her from smelling Jiang Yandong's scent, two cheers came from behind. They hurriedly looked up and saw a few good-looking young ladies running towards them with quick steps. They saw that Lin Tong and Tangua had been surrounded. Tong Tong, I'm your fan. Can you give me an autograph? In the face of her fans' enthusiasm, Lin Tong nodded in a daze. She never let go of Tangua's arm. She breathed a sigh of relief. With such an interruption, at least they had a buffer. No matter what, Jiang Yandong's image in their hearts instantly collapsed. Xiaogua, can you give me an autograph too? A girl handed a pen to Tangua and said, to be honest, before I got to know you better, I didn't really like you. But ever since I heard your voice, I've developed a habit of checking your status every day. Listening to it in the morning can clear my mind. Listening to it at night can get rid of the impatience of the day. It sounds a little exaggerated, but I'm telling the truth. Every time I'm nervous, I'll be able to calm down when I hear your voice. Chapter 1988. So, Sister Xiaogua, can you give me an autograph? Tangua took the pen and said, of course, but I haven't written in a long time, so I might write crookedly. It's okay, as long as it's written by you, I'll like it. To be honest, they really liked this girl who talked about her daily life every day. Even though she seemed to be mumbling to herself, she could always make people feel that her world was beautiful and pure. Sister Xiaogua, were you guys taking a video just now? Can I take a photo with you guys? Of course. Tangua didn't refuse. At the same time, she secretly said to the system, give me Jiang Yandong's location. It'll be a waste if I don't take a photo of him. The system already didn't like Jiang Yandong. That scumbag, he asked for it. He didn't bring his fiancée to the exhibition, saying that she couldn't see and that it would make her sad. In reality, he just didn't want to bring his host here. The system gave Tangua the location. Lin Tong and the others saw that she was immersed in interacting with her fans and didn't have the heart to disturb her. Lin Xian glanced at Jiang Yandong. Perhaps it was because there were people coming and going, plus Xiao Lian was talking to Jiang Yandong about something, and the two of them were taking photos, so Jiang Yandong didn't notice them. It should be said that Jiang Yandong didn't expect that Tangua would appear here. When Tangua pulled her fans into the camera, she didn't know if it was a coincidence or not, but her back was facing Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian. Lin Xian looked at the camera and saw that Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian were clearly shown. Even though the video looked small, if it was really taken, attentive fans would definitely realize that it was Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian. Lin Xian had wanted to say something, but Linli suddenly grabbed his arm and gave him a meaningful smile. Linli even patted him on the shoulder. He instantly understood. Since Jiang Yandong dared to do it, there was no need to be afraid of being photographed. Lin Tong also understood. She took the initiative to let go of Tangua's arm, intending to make space for Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian to be in the shot. Xiaogua, you and your little fan will be recording a video together. I won't be participating. The camera is only so big. When the little fan heard this, she was very happy and showed a grateful look to Lin Tong. Under the complex and meaningful gazes of the young men of the Lin family, Lin Xian helped Tang Guo record a video with her fans. Intentionally or unintentionally, he captured a clear picture of Jiang Yandong. If brother Yandong was here, I would definitely share it with him. I have a small fan too. When Lin Xian heard this, his hand trembled and he almost dropped his phone. He glanced at the video. With this sentence, he could already imagine what would happen to Jiang Yandong next. Let me help you send it up, Lin Xian said. Tang Guo smiled and nodded. Then I'll have to trouble you. Lin Xian helped Tang Guo post the video. Although it had just been posted and probably no one would notice anything, he was in no hurry. However, he was not anxious at all. Soon, many people would know what Jiang Yandong was doing today. The little fan was satisfied and planned to leave with the notebook signed by Tang Guo and Lin Tong. They didn't expect that when they raised their heads, they would see Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian walking over. The two little fans were stunned on the spot. Is that Jiang? Yes. The girl tugging on his sleeve is Xiao Lian. That's right. Didn't Xiao Guo say that Jiang is very busy today? Yes. Then, why is Jiang here, and with Xiao Lian? Chapter 1989. When the two of them were talking, they didn't lower their voices, so Tang Guo could hear them clearly. What are you talking about? Is the Jiang you're talking about brother Yandong? Hearing Tang Guo's voice, the two fans' expressions changed. Just like Lin Tong and the rest, they didn't know what to say. No matter whether Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong were innocent or not, for Tang Guo to be here, it wasn't a happy thing. Not bringing his fiancée to the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition, but with a female teammate, it was hard not to think about it. Brother Yandong, is that you? I can already smell your scent. Tang Guo quickly ran in the direction of Jiang Yandong. Seeing her movements, Lin Xian quickly chased after her, and so did Lin Tong and Lin Lei. They had no choice but to face it now. They thought about it and decided that she had to know about it, even though they didn't know how to deal with it later. Jiang Yandong looked at Tang Guo, who had chased after him, and was stunned on the spot. At this moment, Xiao Lian was tugging at his arm and saying something. Just now, the two of them had been fooling around because of some small matter. Xiao Guo. Jiang Yandong shouted and asked instinctively, why are you here? Then where's brother Yandong? Even though Tang Guo couldn't see, she could smell Jiang Yandong's scent and what she had just heard. Xiao Lian is here too, right? She's right beside you, isn't she? The two little fans next to him had already talked about this matter in the group. They even took a picture of the two of them and explained the cause and effect of the incident. There were quite a lot of Jiang Yandong's fans in this exhibition hall. More and more people gathered around, but they didn't come up to claim it. They all secretly took out their phones and took pictures. Jiang Yandong didn't know that many of the big groups were talking about how he and his female teammate, Xiao Lian, had snuck into the exhibition hall and were caught by his fiancée. Combined with the video that Tang Guo had posted earlier, regardless of whether Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian were innocent or not, there was no way to erase this scum. Jiang Yandong didn't know what to say. After all, he had called Tang Guo and told her that he was very busy today and that he would go back. He wanted her to rest early. Xiao Lian had already let go of Jiang Yandong's arm. She didn't do it on purpose. She just couldn't help but tug. Actually, he still had a question in his heart. Had her grandfather not done anything to Yimingzhu yet? Maybe he was waiting until the exhibition hall was closed. Now that Tang Guo had seen it, she remembered what had happened a few times and felt a little guilty. Seeing that Jiang Yandong didn't know how to answer, she explained, Xiao Guo, don't misunderstand. Jiang Yandong finished his work and someone gave him 2 tickets. It was very late and he thought you were asleep. If you didn't come, it would be a waste, so we came. Yes, Xiaoguo. It's like this. You have to believe me. Jiang Yandong continued, she's Xiao Lian's teammate. If it weren't for the fact that these tickets are more precious and there's no one else here, I definitely wouldn't have come with her. Tangguo said very calmly, Brother Yandong, you should know that even if it's early in the morning, if you want to come, just give me a call and I'll come to accompany you to watch the exhibition. Even if I can't see it, I'm still happy that you can see it. Why didn't you call me when you got the tickets? Chapter 1990. Jiang Yandong saw that there were more and more people around them. He walked up to Tangguo and said in a low voice, let's go back first, okay? Brother Yandong, you haven't answered my question. Why didn't you give me a call when you got the ticket? It's not too late now. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. I heard that this exhibition is very special. For the safety of Night Luminescent Pearl, there's a time limit for entry. If you miss the time, you can't enter again. This means that you've already entered before 7 o'clock. Is 7 o'clock late? And you're not allowed to go out in the middle of the exhibition either, unless the exhibition ends. I remember that you called me at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know my schedule. Under normal circumstances, I only go to bed between 10 o'clock and 10:30. Jiang Yandong was speechless. That's right. Why was she so clear? He looked at the few young men and women from the Lin family standing behind Tangguo and instantly understood. It was no surprise that someone from the Lin family had brought her in. Xiaoguo, I was just afraid that you wouldn't be able to see Night Luminescent Pearl and would be disappointed. That's why I didn't dare to call you. Don't you understand that whether I can see the beauty of this world or not, as long as you're by my side, I'll think that this world is beautiful? You'd rather bring Xiaolian here than ask me. Brother Yandong, you've disappointed me. This scene was captured by some fans and passers-by. It didn't take long for it to be posted on social media and was watched by many people. Xiaoguo, Brother Yandong, do you think that I'm trouble? No, if you only chose to get engaged to me because of guilt, you still have a chance to regret it now. Although I really want to be with you and spend the rest of my life with you, I don't want to be a heavy burden to you. Xiaoguo, let's go back, Brother Yandong, the exhibition closes at 12 o'clock. You're not allowed to go out in the middle. It's rare to see such a grand occasion. Take a good look at the exhibition. You can also think about the problem between us. If you really think that I'm a burden, then let's call off the engagement. I don't want to be a burden to you. After Tangguo finished speaking, she ignored Jiang Yandong. Lin Tong hurriedly came up and held her arm. Come and play with us. All right. Lin Tong, you didn't know what to tell me when you saw Brother Yandong and the others, right? Lin Tong was silent for a moment as she looked at Lin Xian. Linley didn't know what to say. After a pause, he replied, yes. You said before that he was very busy, so we didn't know what to say to you. You can just tell me directly. Although I can't see, I don't want anyone to hide the truth from me. Maybe I'm really a burden to Brother Yandong. It's just that some of the things I did before made him feel guilty and burdened. If he only got engaged to me out of guilt, it would have been better to make things clear from the start. Lin Tong said softly, I'm just afraid that you'll be sad. Everyone knows that you like Jiang Yandong a lot. If Brother Yandong only felt guilty towards me, I would still know. Lin Tong added, I don't think there's anything between him and Xiao Lian. As for their relationship, it's probably just a misunderstanding. Tangguo didn't say anything. She lowered her head and smiled. Chapter 1991. They weren't even together yet, but they had to bear the pressure and public opinion. If Xiao Lian really didn't have any thoughts about Jiang Yandong, then she could just turn around and leave at this time and resume her normal life. She wouldn't be involved in this and she would be able to easily break out of this situation. But Xiao Lian wouldn't leave. The members of the team wouldn't let her go. Jiang Yandong wouldn't let her go either. Because at this time, Jiang Yandong thought that there was nothing between him and Xiao Lian. He wasn't afraid of others seeing it. But when Xiao Lian was being criticized and looked pitiful, wouldn't Jiang Yandong comfort her and take care of her? Would he gradually realize that he actually liked Xiao Lian? Liking Xiao Lian was true love. It was a passionate love. At that time, one side would be filled with guilt and responsibility, while the other side would be true love. Under normal circumstances, the male lead would choose true love. Because often at this time, Xiao Lian would be in danger and Jiang Yandong would release his hidden love. At that time, he would realize that he loved Xiao Lian so much that he wouldn't care about public opinion. He would rather be scolded and choose to be with Xiao Lian. Tang Gua had been waiting for this day. If Jiang Yandong were to be a good person, then she would have lost. Jiang Yandong, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come, Xiao Lian said with some self-blame as she watched Tang Gua, Lin Tong and the others leave. Jiang Yandong shook his head. Xiao Gua is more sensitive because she can't see. This isn't your fault. I didn't consider this. I made you suffer tonight. Please don't take it to heart. I don't mind at all. She clearly misunderstood. You can talk to her when we get out. Let's not walk too far. It's not good if people see us. There's nothing between us. We're teammates. Why can't we be together? It's easier for people to misunderstand if we keep hiding. Jiang Yandong said frankly, there are only 2 hours left. Since we're already here, let's continue watching. As for Xiao Gua, I'll explain it to him when I get back. She wasn't like that before. Don't be angry. After all, she can't see, so she might think too much. How can I be angry? I just hope that you two can reconcile soon. After talking for a long time, the two of them continued to look at the exhibition together. They had no idea that there was a huge argument going on social media and in some groups. They were all talking about how Jiang Yandong went to the exhibition with the opposite sex and abandoned his fiancée at home. Who would have thought that he would be caught by his fiancée in the exhibition hall? The video of their conversation was also recorded. Tang Gua's previous video was also viewed by many people. When they discovered that in one of the videos, they could vaguely see Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian fooling around in the back, their expressions were very strange. In just a few short days, the news of the esports genius Jiang Yandong falling in love with someone else spread like wildfire online. Before the exhibition hall was closed, Tang called Jiang Yandong and told him that she was going to Lin Tong's house as a guest and would not be going back. She told him to go back alone and to think about their relationship. Jiang Yandong really did not expect that things would turn out like this. All along, Tang Gua had been very obedient in front of him. After leaving the exhibition hall, Xiao Lian kept apologizing to Jiang Yandong, saying that it was all her fault. Xiao Gua and I were at odds. It has nothing to do with you. It's late. Let's go back. Chapter 1992. The next day, Jiang Yandong was already being scolded on the internet for being a jerk. The gaming circle was actually a very small circle for ordinary people. This was the first time the club had encountered something like this. They didn't expect it to reach such a stage. The entire internet was talking about how Jiang Yandong was a jerk who had betrayed his fiancée. Seeing this, they naturally knew that for such a huge commotion to occur, it was definitely done deliberately by someone. Ever since that incident, Jiang Yandong had indeed quieted down a lot. Now that the other party had found a weakness, they would definitely try their best to slander Jiang Yandong. Early in the morning, Jiang Yandong was called to the club. At the same time, Xiao Lian was also called over. Previously, when the two of them were fighting, they didn't think much of it. The coach was still regretting that if Jiang Yandong didn't have a fiancé, he could have formed a couple with Xiao Lian. Perhaps it would have attracted a lot of people. Now, the situation was not good for Jiang Yandong. They had already tried their best to suppress the public opinion online, but Tangua's videos proved that Jiang Yandong had used the excuse that he was busy to go to the exhibition with Xiao Lian. It was clearly filmed. The entire club was a little quiet. "Boss, I'm sorry. I didn't expect it to blow up." Jiang Yandong put down his phone. "And Xiao Lian, I caused you to be scolded by everyone." Xiao Lian also felt wronged. Now, everyone on the internet was calling her a mistress, a white lotus, saying that she had ruined other people's relationships. She clearly didn't do anything. Wasn't she just invited to the Night Pearl exhibition? Now, this matter has to be resolved. The one who started the trouble should end it. "We have to let Xiaogui do it," the coach said. "Have you explained it to her clearly?" Jiang Yandong, yesterday, she said she was going to Lin Tong's house as a guest. "I just asked Madam Qin and she's not back yet. She's probably angry. It's also my fault. I have indeed neglected her." "You think that just because she can't see, you can't bring her to the exhibition?" Tong Hui, who was sitting by the side, looked at the scolding online and couldn't help but say, "What good does it do for her to blow things up like this? You're being scolded, but she's also being implicated. She's too insensible. There's nothing between you and Xiaolian. How could there be a problem?" When Yunyang also said, "Coach, how should we resolve this matter? It won't be long before Lil Lian's debut. If we don't resolve this, it will have a huge impact on her and our team. Yen Dong, let's get Xiaogua to come over and talk to her. She probably doesn't know about the situation on the internet. We've explained the pros and cons to her, so she should know what to do." The most important thing now was to get Tanguo to delete those videos. When Tanguo received the call from Coach Jiang Yandong, she was not surprised. "I don't want to go home now." It was like a little girl throwing a tantrum. After blowing things up and not going home, Tanguo wanted to let everyone know that no matter how gentle a person was, there would be a time when they would lose their temper. She wanted everyone to understand that when she was not sure what Jiang Yandong was doing and neglected her, she would be upset and angry. When she was angry and upset, she had to vent it out and let everyone know. It was very uncomfortable to be alone. She was the one who was upset, so she might as well vent it out and let everyone be unhappy. "Then let's talk outside, okay? The current situation is not good for Yen Dong. Xiaogua, I know you're very angry, but I also believe that you don't want Yen Dong to be hurt." In the end, Tanguo agreed. Lin Tong said that she wanted to accompany Tanguo. Lin Xian also wanted to go, but after thinking about it, he felt that at this time, he had to avoid arousing suspicion. Tanguo said, "Tongzi, spread the news that Jiang Yandong's coach wants to talk to me in private." "System, got it, host." Tanguo smiled. "I'll do as the coach says. They will probably ask me to delete the video of that night and post that I'm on good terms with Jiang Yandong and that it was a misunderstanding. But what if the majority of the netizens know that the coach wants to talk to me in private and even recorded our conversation? System, damn, this woman is so bad." Chapter 1993. Tanguo and Jiang Yandong's coach, Lu Hong, had agreed to meet at a cafe. Lin Tong accompanied Tang Guo, and when they arrived, Lu Hong was already waiting for them. Lin Tong held Tang Guo's arm and whispered in her ear, "Only Lu Hong is here. I don't see Jiang Yandong." Lin Tong was a little unhappy. It was clearly Jiang Yandong who was in the wrong. It wasn't Tang Guo's fault at all. She was a person with poor eyesight, and she liked Jiang Yandong wholeheartedly. She had eaten too much, so she did something bad to him. If it wasn't because he was dirty, would it have blown up so much? Take last night as an example. It was clearly his fault. Tang Guo should have been angry. Who would have thought that when Tang Guo asked him to calm down, Jiang Yandong really didn't come and continued to watch the exhibition with Xiao Lian? It was really infuriating. Now that the matter had blown up, it was difficult for the club to clean up the mess. They had to find Tang Guo to clarify the matter. And the result? Jiang Yandong actually didn't show up. Only his coach, Lu Hong, came. Brother Yandong didn't come. Tang Guo's footsteps paused. Her position wasn't far from Lu Hong. Lu Hong could clearly hear her words. His expression was a little uncomfortable. Lin Tong's tone was a little unpleasant. He didn't come. She pulled Tang Guo to sit down and glanced at Lu Hong. "Why don't you ask Coach Lu Hong why Jiang Yandong didn't come? Now that the matter has blown up and Xiao Guo wants to clarify the matter, he didn't come himself. What's the meaning of this?" Lu Hong hurriedly said, "Xiao Guo, don't take it to heart. There is indeed a reason why Yandong didn't come. Currently, there are many crazy fans who are squatting at the club. They have been crowding there since early morning, clamoring to seek justice for you. Look at how big the matter has blown up. We were afraid that the previous incident would happen again and cause irreparable harm to Yandong, so we had no choice but to ask you out. If we don't clarify this matter properly, many people will continue to misunderstand." "Brother Yandong, did he say anything?" Tang Guo did not answer. Instead, she asked, "I asked him to consider the issue between us yesterday. Has he considered it?" Lu Hong hesitated for a moment before saying, "Xiao Guo, this relationship was originally a private matter between the both of you. However, the current situation has already affected Yandong in all aspects. Next month, there will be a very important match. It will be Yandong and Xiao Lian's first match together. It will be a very important event for them and even the club. What do you want to say?" Tang Guo stopped smiling and asked in a flat tone. "What I mean is that we should first resolve the misunderstanding and comfort the fans. You don't want Yandong to be criticized and put in danger, do you? You should know how crazy those fans are." Lu Hong sighed. "Yandong is really a genius. He's only 19 years old this year and he still has a long way to go in the esports industry. I can't just stand by and watch his future be affected because of such a small matter." "Coach Lu Hong, are you trying to say that all of this is my fault? That I will ruin Brother Yandong's future?" Tang Guo held the coffee cup with both hands and said in a flat tone, "How can I, who can't see, affect Brother Yandong? Or does everyone think that the two of us are not compatible at all? No, that's not what I mean. The two of you are the most suitable couple." Lu Hong realized that no matter how obedient and gentle a person was, when they were unreasonable, it was very troublesome. Chapter 1994. Then what does Coach Lu Hong mean? On one hand, you said that Brother Yandong is being criticized and needs me to do something. You even seem to be blaming me. On the other hand, you said that we are the best match. Can you explain it more clearly? You know that I can't see. I don't know anything that happens on the internet." Lu Hong was slightly stunned. He looked at Tangua's lifeless eyes and didn't know what to say for a moment. He suddenly remembered that this girl in front of him had lost her precious eyes for Jiang Yandong. His gaze unconsciously fell on Tangua's hands that were holding the coffee cup. He could see that there were some faint scars on her delicate hands. Although they were very faint, he could see them at a glance if he looked closely. Right now, everyone on the internet is scolding Jiang Yandong for abandoning his fiancée and going on a date with another girl. They are scolding him so badly that they even want to boycott him. Ever since Yandong entered the esports scene, he has received many praises and is loved by many people. Originally, he and Xiao Lian were innocent. However, because of a small misunderstanding yesterday, the two of them were scolded by the netizens and had a great impact on them. What I mean is, can Xiaoguo release a statement to say that everything that happened yesterday was a misunderstanding? As for other things, after this incident passes, you and Yandong can sit down and talk about it slowly. What do you think? For a moment, both parties fell into silence. Lin Tong felt that there was a fire burning in her heart. These people were only thinking about Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian being wronged and criticized. Did they think about Xiaoguo? Even at that time yesterday, Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lianqing were innocent. He was the one who deceived Xiaoguo. He bought a ticket and didn't bring his fiancée. He told her that he was busy and turned around to bring a woman to the exhibition. No girl would be able to accept such a thing if it happened to her. Did they not think that from the beginning to the end, the one who was wronged was actually Tanguo? As for Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian, they were just reaping what they had sown. Who told them to go to the exhibition together for no reason? Who asked Jiang Yandong to not care about Tanguo? Who asked him and Xiao Lian to secretly watch the exhibition and were even seen by Xiaoguo and many other fans? Who asked him to be unrepentant after being seen by others? Thinking that he was not in the wrong, he continued to watch the exhibition with Xiao Lian with a clear conscience, leaving his fiancée aside and not caring about her. In summary, Jiang Yandong deserved it. Xiaoguo, I'm sure you don't want to ruin Yandong just because of some rumors, right? It had not been easy for him to get to where he was today. I believe you definitely don't want to see him in a difficult situation. Tanguo smiled faintly. Of course, I hope that brother Yandong is fine. I'm fine as long as he's fine. But his behavior yesterday made me realize that we might not be suitable for each other. At Xiao Tong's house, I thought about it a lot. Why should I drag down brother Yandong, who is so dazzling and has such a bright future? If he really just feels guilty and doesn't like me, then he doesn't have to accept me as a burden. Other than being unable to see, I'm just like a normal person. Going shopping alone, buying things, going to concerts, I can do all of that. Lu Hong really did not know what to say. He thought about it and was about to say something when Tanguo suddenly changed her words. Although I'm very angry that I might not be that important in brother Yandong's heart. But Coach Lu Hong, you're right. I really don't want to see him being criticized. So, I promise you that I'll help him clarify this matter. Chapter 1995. Lu Hong was stunned for a moment. This sudden turn of events left him a little at a loss. He looked at the beautiful girl in front of him. If it weren't for her lifeless eyes, she would definitely be even more outstanding. He thought that she had said those words because she didn't want to help Jiang Yandong clarify things. He didn't expect that there would be such a twist in the end. Even if she was angry, she didn't want to see him in a bad state. He suddenly didn't know how to express his feelings. How much did she like him to be able to tolerate this? Thinking about it from another perspective, he guessed that any girl wouldn't be able to accept what had happened yesterday. It was reasonable for her to be angry. Then what should I do, Coach Lu Hong? I just need to post a status update to clarify things. Lu Hong reacted. It would be best if you could delete the 2 videos from yesterday. He looked at Tang Guo, trying to discern something from her expression. Okay. Tang Guo unlocked her phone and handed it to Lin Tong. Little Tong, please help me delete these 2 videos. And then, Coach Lu Hong, what should I do next? Lu Hong looked at Tang Guo's serious expression and said with difficulty, post a status update to clarify that yesterday was a misunderstanding. Okay. Tang Guo asked again, apart from this, do you need to go to the club and clarify things with the fans outside? Of course, it would be best if you could do that, Lu Hong answered quickly without thinking. If Tang Guo was willing to go directly to the club and meet with Jiang Yandong, the fans wouldn't have such a big opinion when they saw that the 2 of them had reconciled. Yesterday was a very small matter to begin with. Someone had used it to make a big fuss and wanted to destroy Jiang Yandong. If Tang Guo went, everyone would come to their senses for her sake. If Jiang Yandong really had something going on with Xiaolian, how could he have openly watched the exhibition in the exhibition hall? Then I'll take a video as I walk. Tell the fans that I'm going to look for brother Yandong now. What happened yesterday was just a small misunderstanding between couples. It's not as serious as you think. Lin Tong held Tang Guo's arm and stood up. She helped turn on the camera and listened to her say, I thought about it for a while. What happened yesterday was indeed a small misunderstanding. Brother Yandong explained to me yesterday that he didn't tell me about the exhibition hall because he was afraid that I wouldn't be able to see the beautiful night luminescent pearls and feel regretful. It would make me unhappy, so he told a white lie. And he and little Lien appeared in the exhibition hall at the same time. They are teammates. If something really happened, they wouldn't dare to appear there openly. I often go to the club and I'm good friends with Xiao Lian. I believe that there's nothing going on between them. So, this is a small conflict between me and brother Yandong. Everyone, please don't misunderstand. Now, I'm going to the club to look for brother Yandong. I heard that he can't come out. I'm really worried about his safety. After this video was posted, the fans heard Tang Guo's words and it caused another commotion. Although they were still dissatisfied with Jiang Yandong, because Tang Guo couldn't see, she was a weakling. Everyone didn't go overboard with their words. As for Jiang Yandong and Xiaolian, they were indeed teammates. Even if the scene shown in the video didn't look ambiguous, it was so open and aboveboard. There was probably nothing going on. They chose to believe it for now and see what would happen next. Of course, there were still many people who scolded Jiang Yandong for being a jerk. In short, they slashed half of it. Chapter 1996. When countless fans saw that Tang Guo really appeared at the club, they didn't do anything extreme. Instead, they watched her walk into the club. Everyone in the club watched the video that she posted. Jiang Yandong looked at the video with mixed feelings. His heart was filled with guilt. He was indeed in the wrong. Even if Xiao Guo couldn't see it, he shouldn't have hidden it from her and not brought her to the exhibition. Xiao Lian watched the video with a complicated expression on his face. When Tang Guo walked in, Jiang Yandong quickly stood up and walked in front of her to support her. Xiao Lian felt a little disappointed. She just stared at the 2 of them blankly. Actually, she had already realized that Jiang Yandong felt more guilty towards Tang Guo. He didn't like her at all. But she was just an outsider. They were engaged. She didn't have the right to say anything. Brother Yandong, are you okay? I'm fine, Xiao Guo. I didn't think about what happened before and neglected you. I thought that bringing you to the exhibition to see the night luminescent pearl was hurting you. I forgot that you just wanted to accompany me. You didn't have to see the beauty of the night luminescent pearl. It's good that Brother Yen Dong understands. Then let's film a video and explain it to the fans. Tang Gua shook her head. It looked like she was still looking for something. Her unfocused eyes looked at the empty space and said, Xiao Lian, come. Let's go together. It was just a small misunderstanding yesterday. I didn't want it to cause such a big impact. With so many people watching, Xiao Lian had no choice but to stand up and stand with Tang Gua. Tang Gua heard Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian say that there was nothing between them. They were just teammates working together. Xiao Lian said that if she had known that it would cause such a huge impact, she would have definitely refused to go to Night Luminescent Pearl. Previously, Jiang Yandong had invited her because the others were not around, so he had casually invited her. He did not want to waste a ticket, so she had gone. Jiang Yandong said the same thing. He said that he was afraid that if he brought Tang Guo there, she would be disappointed if she couldn't see the night luminescent pearl. He didn't think it through. As for why he invited Xiao Lian, it was really because they were teammates. It was just a casual request. The two of them spoke openly and honestly, without any abnormalities at all. In addition, Jiang Yandong admitted that he had neglected Tang Gua and promised that he would be more careful in the future. The angry netizens finally calmed down. The reason why they were so easily appeased was because they didn't want to continue making a fuss. They didn't want to cause any inconvenience to the girl with blindness and affect her. At the end of the day, it was because she was on the weaker side that everyone couldn't bear to see her suffer. This was also the reason why Lu Hong had gone to look for her. Lin Tong stood at the side and looked at the people in the club. They all heaved a sigh of relief. She was very unhappy. She took out her phone and called Lin Xian. She told him everything that had happened. Esports genius. What a hypocrite. I think he obviously doesn't care about Xiao Gua. These people are just bullying Xiao Gua because she's soft-hearted and can't see. Brother Xian, how's your game training going? Brother Lei said that you're very talented. Although you're not young anymore, he thinks highly of you. When can you play? When the time comes, you must teach Jiang Yandong a lesson. I'm still angry. Lin Xian was silent for a while. Around him, videos about Jiang Yandong were playing. There were new content on his laptop. It was all his summary of hero strategies. I will work hard. Chapter 1997. The people in the club laughed when they saw that the public opinion on the internet had changed for the better. Lu Hong suggested that they go for lunch later to have a good gathering and to thank Tang Guo properly, but she rejected him. I came here this time because I don't want Brother Yen Dong to continue being attacked. After all, that wasn't my original intention. Tang Guo sat on the stool and said calmly, I still have to say the same thing. Brother Yen Dong, you need to consider our relationship. I feel that we don't have the atmosphere of a couple. Think about it carefully. Do you still need to continue with your relationship with me? Xiao Gua, Brother Yen Dong, think about it carefully. This sentence will be effective before we get married. Please remember, don't choose to be with me because you feel guilty. What I need is not your guilt, but your love. The originally joyous atmosphere was washed away in an instant. Tang Gua smiled faintly. She was unhappy now, so there was no need for everyone to be happy. Tang Guo wanted to leave with Lin Tong and Jiang Yandong chased after them. Tang Guo rejected him and told him to train hard. The others didn't say anything, but Tong Hui, who always spoke without thinking, quickly said, you have to complete the act. If people see you leaving alone, Yen Dong will be scolded badly. Everyone was on your side when you caused such a huge commotion on the internet. Lin Tong turned around and glared at Tong Hui. If you don't know how to speak, then give your tongue to someone who needs it. Tong Hui was frightened by Lin Tong's glare. He turned around and sat aside, not saying anything. Then Brother Yen Dong, send me back. The atmosphere became extremely awkward again. Xiao Lian quickly said, Xiao Gua, are you angry with me? I promise that there's nothing between Jiang Yandong and me. There's nothing between us. I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with Brother Yen Dong. I feel that I'm not important in his heart. That's why I asked him to reconsider our relationship. Not long after Jiang Yandong left with Tang Gua, Tong Hui couldn't help but say, isn't that too pretentious? What else does she want? This time, because of her, Yen Dong and Xiaolian were scolded badly by others. Yet, she did not give up and continued to cause trouble with Yen Dong. She is really too insensible. You're talking too much. Let Yen Dong handle this matter. What's the point of saying so much? When Yunyang said. He looked at the depressed Xiao Lian and patted her shoulder. Xiao Lian, don't be sad. We all believe that you didn't do it on purpose. Xiao Guo couldn't see, so she would definitely think more about it. Besides, she sacrificed so much for Jiang Yandong, so it's inevitable that she feels insecure. Everyone in the club, except for Coach Lu Hong, was comforting Xiao Lian. He took a puff of his cigarette and recalled the scene in the cafe when he talked to Tang Gua. He was sure that what Tang Gua said was true. She asked Jiang Yandong to reconsider. Did she do anything? No, she really didn't do anything. To be honest, if Jiang Yandong knew how to avoid arousing suspicion and did not lie to her, this wouldn't have happened today. Ever since that incident, Tang Gua and Jiang Yandong were very unfamiliar with each other. Even though Jiang Yandong was much more attentive and came back early, it seemed that everything could not go back to the past. Xiao Gua, maybe we can talk. Tang Gua hugged a pillow and sat on the sofa. Talk about what? Has Brother Yen Dong thought it through? At this moment, Jiang Yandong's phone rang. Chapter 1998. Tang Gua could sense that there was something wrong with Jiang Yandong's aura. She remembered that the clock had rung 10 minutes ago. Then the time now was around 9:10 p.m. Jiang Yandong's aura seemed to be getting more and more unstable, and there was a faint hint of anxiety. Dear host, old man Zhao's matter must have been exposed. It's been so long, and the suitable evidence and stolen goods should be almost there. Is that so? I knew it. Xiao Lian was sobbing on the other end of the line, and Jiang Yandong had even walked to the door. I couldn't hear what happened after that. The system laughed secretly. I heard it. Xiao Lian was crying as she called Jiang Yandong, saying that something had happened to her grandfather. The reason why she didn't call anyone else was that she and old man Xiao were the only ones left in the Xiao clan. Even if she had other people's contact information, in her heart, Jiang Yandong was probably the most important person. At this moment, Jiang Yandong's voice sounded in Tang Gua's ears. Don't worry, I'll be right there. Tang Gua sat on the sofa and maintained a smile. She even asked, Brother Yen Dong, who was it? A team member. Jiang Yandong subconsciously lied. He hung up the phone and walked in front of Tang Gua. I need to go out for a while. Let's talk about those things later, okay? Xiao Gua, please believe me. I'm willing to take care of you for the rest of my life. What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? It's already past 9 p.m. I have no choice. I have to go. Jiang Yandong didn't explain further. He hurried upstairs, changed his clothes, took the car keys, and went out. Hearing the sound of the car starting up and leaving, Tang Gui yawned. I can finally sleep. Jiang Yandong should be back very late every night now. Tongzi, tell me the details of Xiao Lian's situation. Xiao Lian knows that old man Xiao has been arrested. I heard that if she wants to atone for her crime, she has to hand over those things. However, according to the grapevine, even if old man Xiao taught him what he had, he might be sentenced to life imprisonment or even death. But according to the situation in their circle, I reckon it'll be forever. Xiao Lian didn't know what to do at the moment. She could only call Jiang Yandong for help, although Jiang Yandong couldn't help much. Where's that old man Xiao? He has already been secretly escorted away. The higher-ups know that he has some ability, so they asked the special department to escort him. The people from these special departments are different from some motley crew on the internet. They are internal and don't do bad things. They are in charge of such sneaky behavior. Tang Guo was puzzled. Then why didn't they care about these things before? After all, they have status. There are many things that they have to take care of. This old man Xiao is very cunning and has an insider. It's impossible for them to let so many people take care of him for a night luminescent pearl. Tang Guo came back to her senses and smiled. That's right. No matter how precious the night luminescent pearl is, it can't be compared to some more important things. Tongzi, I can tell that you are very envious of other people's status in the organization. You can't see old man Xiao clearly. Don't forget that you don't have a serial number now. The system was a little angry. Dear host, it's difficult to unify. Didn't 222 and 111 send you an email? System, I contacted them before, but there was no important news. The boss of the Spacetime Bureau still hasn't returned, so the matter of my serial number has been delayed. I don't know what they are busy with and what they are busy with. Sister Tang Jiao, my brother Tang Kuei, how are they doing now? Digression, see you tomorrow. Chapter 1999. Previously, when the 3-2s sent me an email, they said that they were in the apocalypse. The host has transmigrated through so many worlds, and so has the Tang Jiao. According to the 3-2s, the Tang Jiao has matured a lot over the years. Even in the apocalypse, she can handle it with ease. The 3-2s expressed that they were very happy. The system explained the Tang Jiao situation. As for your brother, he was in a cultivation world. That world is very dangerous, but Tang Kuei is not someone to be trifled with. From the words in the 3-2's foot emails, I can feel his fear of Tang Kuei. I guess that he is a killing god in the cultivation world. That's good. Tong Zi, when you are free, pay more attention to them and make sure that they are safe. As for my brother being a killing god, someone must have provoked him. Don't you think so? The system was stunned for a moment and quickly said, the host is right. Your brother is a reasonable person. If no one provoked him, why would he kill someone? That night, Jiang Yandong did not come back. He also did not call Tang Guo. Perhaps he had forgotten that she was waiting for him in the villa. Of course, Tang Guo did not wait for him. After he left, she went to sleep. However, in the middle of the night, she asked the system to check the time and help her call Jiang Yandong. She did not know what he was busy with, but he did not pick up. In the morning, after Tang Guo had breakfast, she took out her phone and called Jiang Yandong. Still, no one picked up. Today was the weekend, and Jiang Yandong did not have classes at school. She could only call the club. Yandong is not at home. When Yunyang asked in surprise. I thought that he was going to accompany you at home today. I didn't expect that he was not at home. I just arrived at the club. Let me ask the others if something happened. Last night, around 9 p.m., Brother Yen Dong received a call saying that something happened to a member of the club. He hurriedly changed his clothes and left with his car keys. Later, very late at night, I called him many times, but no one picked up. She called him again this morning, but there was still no answer. Today is the weekend, so I had no choice but to call you to ask if something happened to the club. Why didn't Brother Yen Dong come back last night? When Yunyang turned on the loudspeaker so that the members around him could hear Tanggua's words, they looked at each other and confirmed their team members. They found that apart from Jiang Yandong, only Xiao Lian was absent. Thinking of this, they felt a little uneasy. The two of them didn't come at the same time. Could there be some kind of connection? Coach, do you know what happened to Yen Dong and Xiao Lian? At this time, it was only a little past midnight. When Yunyang covered the microphone almost instinctively, not wanting Tanggua to hear this, Lu Hong shook his head. I didn't receive any news that Yen Dong and Xiao Lian had applied for leave. I thought they were late because of a traffic jam. Xiaogua said that he went out at 9:00 last night and hasn't come home. What should we say? When Yunyang frowned. The main thing is that Xiao Lian didn't come either. I don't know what the connection is. The other people's expressions also changed slightly. They didn't wish for Jiang Yandong to spend the entire night with Xiao Lian. The previous matter had finally calmed down with great difficulty. Xiaogua, the members of the club are not all here yet. At the moment, I don't know the exact situation. When the others arrive, I will ask them and give you the news, Wen Yunyang said in the end. Chapter 2000. As for Wen Yunyang's excuse, Tanggua did not expose it. She did not believe that these people did not think that Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian were not there and that they might be together. Now, the people in the club were probably thinking of ways to contact the two of them. Let's make a post. If it's really important, of course I have to share it with everyone. The system looked at it silently. Tanggua took out her phone and started to record a video. Brother Yen Dong received a call yesterday saying that something happened to a member of the club. He hasn't answered until now. I don't know what happened, but I'm really worried. I hope he's fine. I just called the club to ask, but there seems to be no news. If you know anything, please let me know. It's really inconvenient to do many things when you can't see. When this post was posted, it caused another sensation. Jiang Yandong disappeared overnight, causing many fans to spontaneously search for him. They all ran to the club's official Weibo to ask what was going on. She was just someone who was worried about Jiang Yandong. She did not know what this post would cause. Tanggua did this on purpose. Indeed, not long after, she received a call from the club's members. They questioned her why she posted such a post, saying that it would affect Jiang Yandong negatively. Tanggua replied calmly, I'm just worried about Brother Yen Dong. There's no news from your side. I hope everyone can see it and help me find him. If Brother Yen Dong does not appear after 24 hours, I will call the police. Hearing Tanggua say that she wanted to call the police, everyone in the club was speechless. The person who called her was Tong Hui. He was so angry that he did not know what to say. However, they could not contact Jiang Yandong. Previously, they could still get through, but now, his phone was switched off. They guessed that it was probably out of battery. They did not know what Jiang Yandong was doing. Everyone was looking for Jiang Yandong, worried about his safety. Seeing that Jiang Yandong still did not appear, the people in the club panicked and no longer cared about Tanggua. Later, the club was even more anxious than Tanggua and directly chose to call the police. However, not long after the police were called, Jiang Yandong appeared. He was also a little annoyed that his cell phone had run out of battery. Yesterday, when he found out that something had happened to Xiao Lian, he went over and accompanied Xiao Lian for the whole night. Looking at Xiao Lian crying helplessly, he couldn't just leave. He was worried about leaving her alone. In the end, he drove Xiao Lian to the beach to relax. The two of them sat by the beach for the whole night. Hearing Xiao Lian say that something had happened to her grandfather, Jiang Yandong didn't know what to do. He couldn't help her with these things, so he could only silently accompany her and comfort her. As for his phone, he left it in the car so that he wouldn't be disturbed. Unexpectedly, when he was about to send Xiao Lian home, his phone ran out of battery. When he drove Xiao Lian to the club and got out of the car, he was surrounded by countless people. Jiang Yandong had no idea what was going on. When he walked into the club with a red-eyed Xiao Lian, he saw everyone looking at him strangely. What's going on? Jiang Yandong's intuition told him that something was wrong. The team members' gazes fell on Xiao Lian. Seeing that her eyes were unbelievably swollen, their expressions became even more strange. Seeing this, Lu Hong finally couldn't help but ask, "Where did you go last night?" Chapter 2001. Jiang Yandong explained to the people in the club that something had happened to Xiao Lian's grandfather. When he received her call, he was worried that something might happen to her, so he went over to accompany her for the night. The phone was left in the car, so he did not hear it. Perhaps there were too many people calling, so the phone's battery was drained, so it was turned off. When the people in the club heard that something had happened to Xiao Lian's grandfather, they showed some sympathy. But when they thought of the current situation, they were troubled. Xiao Lian naturally did not tell them what had happened to old man Xiao. She only said that it was a very serious matter, and his life might be in danger. The people in the club were not in a position to ask, but they did not blame Xiao Lian as much as before. Everyone went to comfort Xiao Lian, asking if there was anything they could do to help her. Xiao Lian quickly shook her head and refused. These people could not help her at all. Grandpa had been taken away secretly. She did not know where he was. Previously, some people with special identities had come to the villa to search and took away all the things that Grandpa had hidden. And they also told her that they were checking all the assets under Grandpa's name. If there was something wrong with the villa, it would be confiscated. Yesterday, she had panicked and called Jiang Yandong. If not for the fact that she did not know where Grandpa had been taken, she would have gone to kidnap him on impulse. Later, Jiang Yandong's appearance calmed her down. Those seniors told her that the other party had sufficient evidence. Those who had taken Grandpa away were the same kind of people as them. In fact, they were even more powerful. They told her to calm down and not to kidnap people for no reason. It would be best if she could find all the things that Grandpa had stolen and hand them over. She might be able to get a lighter sentence. As long as there was nothing wrong with the assets under Grandpa's name, it would be best if she sold all her assets and handed them over. She might have a better chance. Xiao Lian felt that the whole world was collapsing. Grandpa was so powerful. How could he have been caught? Could it be that someone had framed Grandpa? She wanted to know all these. Why did she have to hand over all their things? The things that Grandpa had stolen were not clean in the first place. The people in the club didn't know that someone had already posted photos of Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong together in the club. The innocence that Jiang Yandong had just proven was gone again. Xiao Gua, there's news about Jiang Yandong. It was a call from Lin Tong. Just now, he and Xiao Lian appeared at the club together. Many people saw them. Xiao Gua, I think that Jiang Yandong simply doesn't place you in his eyes. I'll say something that I shouldn't say, but you won't be happy with him. For the sake of Xiao Lian, he didn't say anything and left you alone at home. He couldn't get through to you and made you worry for nothing. He doesn't have you in his heart. Tang Guo wasn't surprised by Lin Tong's call. She replied calmly, I got it. Did Brother Yan Dong appear at the club with Xiao Lian? That's right. Do you suspect that I'm lying to you? I won't get any candy for lying to you. Lin Tong was furious. Many people on the internet are talking about Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian. They won't be able to clear their names. Xiao Gua, don't make any statements this time. That Jiang Yandong was simply infuriating. Don't leave. I'll come over and take you to the club. Tang Gua agreed. Not long after, Lin Tong arrived. Lin Xian and Lin Li also came along. Chapter 2002. Brother Xian and Brother Lei are here too. Lin Tong explained, I'm just worried that the two of us won't be able to handle the situation. There are so many people in the club, so I asked my two cousins to come and support you. You are my friend. How can I let you be wronged? Little Tong is right. You're Little Tong's friend, so you're also my sister. We definitely have to support you, Lin Yidao said angrily. This is Jiang Yandong's way of doing things. No, sister, whatever you want to do, just do it. I know you're smart and you know how to choose. The current Jiang Yandong isn't suitable for you. What he's done these few times is hurting you. You're still young and he's still young. There will be many changes in this period of time, Lin Xian added. In this world, there's more than one Jiang Yandong who deserves your love. Thank you. I know what to do. The few of them brought Tang Gua to the club. When they arrived at the club and saw the scene inside, Lin Xian and the other two were furious. Lin Tong couldn't take it anymore. Jiang Yandong, our Xiao Guo was worried about you the whole night. It's good that you're back now. You seem to have forgotten about Xiao Guo's existence and are even comforting her. Right now, the internet is abuzz with the news that you disappeared for a night and came back with Xiao Lian. Jiang Yandong, how are you going to explain this time? Jiang Yandong hurriedly walked in front of Tang Gua. Xiao Gua, this is a misunderstanding. Lin Tong didn't say anything else. Misunderstanding. Even if it was a misunderstanding, how could a man with a fiancée go out with another girl in the middle of the night? Was that appropriate? Brother Yan Dong, why don't we call off the engagement? From today onwards, you are you and I am me. There were many things in the past that I did willingly. You don't have to feel guilty. I'll let you go and you'll let me go. Jiang Yandong was a little flustered. No, Xiao Gua, we agreed that I would take care of you for the rest of your life. You only want to take care of me for the rest of your life because of guilt, not because you like me and want to be with me for the rest of your life. Tang Gua's expression was very calm. Brother Yan Dong, I don't want to experience what happened last night again. Can you promise that you won't go out if you receive a call from Xiaolian in the future? Can you guarantee that Xiaolian will stay by my side instead of comforting her if she is wronged? Can you? Jiang Yandong was at a loss for words. He wanted to say that he could. But what happened last night was a slap to his face. If Xiao Lian called him again and told him that something had happened, he really had no choice but to go. Xiao Gua, Xiao Lian and I are innocent. The reason why I was so anxious to go out yesterday was because something happened to her grandfather. I was afraid that something would happen to her. Tang Gua smiled and asked, then why do you have to be the one comforting her? Why did she choose to call you first when something happened to her family? In order to comfort her, I called you more than 100 times in one night, but you didn't pick up a single one. Because you didn't come back for an entire night, I was about to call the police. When you came back, the first thing you went back to was the club. You didn't come home to explain to me and I had to come to the club. Brother Yen Dong, you don't have me in your heart. Call off the engagement. I am an incomparably heavy burden to you. I am a selfish person. The person I like, my fiancé, can't be good to other girls, no matter what. My people can only think of me and be good to me. Chapter 2003. Maybe in your eyes, I don't see the big picture and don't understand things. But today, I want to tell you that I'm actually such a person. Previously, I was enduring because I was afraid that I would cause trouble for Brother Yen Dong. So, I tried my best to think clearly about everything so that I wouldn't cause trouble for you. But later, I found out that my understanding was only exchanged for your neglect. Brother Yen Dong, ask yourself, do you have me in your heart? Jiang Yandong opened his mouth but didn't know how to answer. Did he? Of course he did. Xiaogua, I believe that Brother Yen Dong still has a place for me in his heart, but it's only a very small part. I'm not as important as your club, your dream, or even your teammates. Tanggua took a deep breath and continued, maybe Brother Yen Dong is a very outstanding esports genius and a good teammate, but to me, he's not a good fiancé. I think I should let go. Because we're really not suitable. Brother Yen Dong, go and pursue your dream in the future. I'm 10 this year and you're 19 this year. We're both in our prime. Why should we bind you with such a heavy burden? Maybe many people here are already dissatisfied with me because I'm not a sensible and selfish person. Xiaogua, it's actually not that serious. To me, it's very serious. Brother Yen Dong, I need a lover who only loves me, dotes on me, and only cares about me. He doesn't want a fiancé who puts me at the bottom of the pecking order. Sensing that Jiang Yandong had nothing to say, Tanggua said firmly, I'm not here to discuss the cancellation of the engagement with you, but to inform you. Because I don't want to marry you, I have the right to cancel the engagement. Jiang Yandong, you're free. After that, Tanggua grabbed Lin Tong's hand. Little Tong, let's go. I want to go back to the villa. Tell Nanny Chin to help me pack up. I should go back to my own home. Actually, it doesn't matter where I live. Madam Chin cooks for me and I take care of myself. The chauffeur sends me to the mall, to the opera house, to the club. Listening to Tanggua's every word, Jiang Yandong's face turned pale. Tanggua's words brought him back to reality. It was as if he had never been a part of her life. I will inform my parents, uncle, and auntie about this matter. I believe they will understand. Since they were not compatible, there was no need to force it. You're upset, and so am I. It's better to end it as soon as possible. System, the host is probably happy right now. She finally got rid of the scumbag and is single again. She can flirt with the bald guy now. Look at the corners of her mouth that were accidentally curved. Tanggua, if you call off your engagement with Yen Dong now, aren't you making him feel unjust? Tong Hui couldn't help but ask after seeing the situation on the internet. Lu Hong wanted to stop her, but it was too late. This girl was already pitiful enough. Weren't these words stabbing a knife into her heart? She had already done her best. He could also see that Jiang Yandong and her were indeed not compatible. Just last night, Jiang Yandong had gone to comfort Xiao Lian and disappeared for an entire night. He had missed over 100 of her calls. After he appeared, he didn't even tell her that he was safe. Hence, he agreed to call off the engagement. If it continued, it wouldn't be good for either of them. When Tanggua heard Tong Hui's words, she turned around. Brother Yen Dong, you have to learn to bear the consequences of your actions. I won't announce the cancellation of the engagement to the public. I'll give you some time to recover. Do you want me to help you explain to your fans what you did last night and that it was all a misunderstanding? Chapter 2004. Tang Guo's words made all the club members' faces burn, except for Tong Hui. He walked up and said, "Things got out of hand because you posted that video and said you were worried about Yan Dong. If it wasn't for you, would things have gotten out of hand?" Lin Tong quickly pulled Tang Guo behind her and said angrily, "Brother, I can't take it anymore. Brother Xian, don't you know martial arts? Can you help me beat this guy up? He's really asking for it." As soon as Lin Tong finished speaking, Lin Xian was already beside Tong Hui. He grabbed Tong Hui's collar and punched him in the face. The club members wanted to stop him, but they were no match for Lin Xian. Anyone who tried to stop him would be punched in the stomach. Lin Xian only wanted to hit Tong Hui's face. To be honest, he had wanted to do it for a long time. However, he was in a bad position. If he acted rashly, people would criticize Tang Guo. She was already blind and had lost all the glory in the world. He didn't want people to talk about her behind her back. Now, Lin Tong had shouted that Lin Tong was his cousin. What a good excuse to help his cousin beat up a scumbag that she couldn't stand. Although he had only used 10% of his strength, he had added 30% of his hidden energy to the punch. Tong Hui might look fine, but he would be in pain for a few days. System, host, I feel that your little bald head is using his power to avenge a personal grudge. He's using the excuse of standing up for his cousin, but in reality, he's fighting for you. He's a martial arts expert, but he actually used his hidden energy on an ordinary person. You can see how much he hates Tong Hui. Tong Hui is really annoying. Every time I hear him speak, I want to cut his tongue out. If only this was the cultivation world, his tongue would have been cut off long ago. Lin Xian's anger subsided and he threw Tong Hui aside. Shut up if you don't know how to talk. After Tong Hui was beaten up, he finally had some peace and quiet. The club members also knew that Lin Xian might be a martial arts expert, so they didn't dare to provoke him. Xiao Lian looked at all of this and shouted, "All right, stop fooling around. It's all my fault. If you want to do anything, just do it to me. Don't blame Jiang Yandong. He was just trying to comfort me. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have called him." Many people sympathized with Xiao Lian. After all, something had happened to her grandfather. Now, Tang Guo had brought people to cause trouble. But this time, Lu Hong did not side with his team members. He walked over to Tang Guo and said, "I'm sorry. It's all Yan Dong's fault this time. Are you serious about breaking off your engagement with him?" "I'm serious." "All right." Lu Hong nodded. "I'll talk to him about this. I don't think the two of you are suitable for each other. Xiao Guo, go back. You didn't do anything wrong. It was Jiang Yandong's fault. I hope you can find someone who truly cares about you in the future." "Thank you, Coach Lu Hong. I believe there will be someone." When Tang Guo said this, Lin Xian, who was standing at the side, couldn't help but straighten up. This kind of subconscious action caused him to be stunned. Lin Li noticed it and nudged Lin Xian. "Xian, what are you doing?" "No, nothing," Lin Xian said hurriedly. He was just listening to that girl's words. It was really weird. After Tang Guo left, Tong Hui jumped up and shouted, "Coach, are you speaking up for an outsider?" Lu Hong glanced at him. Yan Dong was indeed wrong about this. Xiao Guo was already very magnanimous to speak calmly. "But coach, there are already a lot of people on the internet attacking Yan Dong." When Yunyang frowned. "What should we do?" Chapter 2005. Lu Hong heard Wen Yunyang's words and said, "Let's be honest. Let's just say that something happened to Xiaolian and Yan Dong went to look for her because he was worried. Yan Dong would like to apologize to everyone and say that it was his fault for not thinking things through. He should have informed the entire team and gone to help Xiaolian." Lu Hong felt that this was the right time. Being secretive would only make people look down on Jiang Yandong. He might as well just say that he was worried about Xiaolian. They were teammates, and they were teammates who worked well together. It was normal for him to be nervous when something happened to Xiaolian. It was just that he didn't think things through and caused a lot of trouble for everyone. Although this answer would still cause a lot of people to scold him. But he felt that it was better for their long-term development. Being willing to take responsibility for not thinking things through was better than being secretive and letting people speculate and smear Jiang Yandong's reputation. They were in the esports industry and it was different from the entertainment industry. When Jiang Yandong and Xiaolian fought together and won, the fans would slowly forget about it. The fans would slowly forget about this matter. As long as Jiang Yandong could bear with it, it wouldn't affect him too much. "I don't think so. If we do that, everyone will scold Xiaolian." When Yunyang was the first to object, followed by the others. Tong Hui was the most vocal and rejected Lu Hong's suggestion. Tong Hui even said, "Boss, I feel like you're siding with outsiders now. Yan Dong is a member of our team." Yan Dong probably didn't think too much about what happened to Xiaolian yesterday. Didn't he tell Tanguo clearly before he left? He only disappeared for a night and she created such a big news. She's just petty and jealous. That's why things turned out this way. Yan Dong was just being kind. There's no need to apologize. Lu Hong felt a headache whenever he saw Tong Hui. When he heard him speak, he had the urge to hit him. Did these youngsters understand the logic? If Jiang Yandong didn't have a fiancé, it wouldn't matter where he went at night. But now he had abandoned his fiancée to spend time with the opposite sex. Everything was wrong. Moreover, his relationship with Tanguo was special. If he didn't handle it well, it would affect him negatively. "Let's do as boss says." Jiang Yandong woke up from what Tanguo had said before she left. "It's my fault for not thinking things through and making Xiaoguo upset. Yan Dong, this isn't a big deal. If Xiaolian had called any of us yesterday, we would have gone over." Speaking of this, Tong Hui had complained. Why didn't Xiaolian call him? If she had called him, there wouldn't be so much trouble. In the end, have happened to what's have lins. Have some SSAA, as to haves not upset Xiaolian, have AA. For do not for Xiaolian's to himself. Everyone told him that he already had a fiancée. If he were to encounter such a situation in the future, he should inform the team first so that everyone could resolve it together. They should know how to avoid suspicion when it came to the opposite sex. They also said that they didn't want to see Tanguo upset or anxious because of him. Jiang Yandong said that such a thing wouldn't happen again. Xiaolian's situation wasn't so good. Chapter 2006. Although she apologized, the number of people scolding her did not decrease. Most of them warned her not to call someone who was already taken if anything happened in the middle of the night. Xiaolian looked at those comments and was so angry that her eyes turned red. Thus, the whole morning, the members of the team comforted Xiaolian. Fortunately, Jiang Yandong's side had stabilized, so the impact on the team was relatively small. As for Xiaolian, everyone would forget about this matter in a few days. When Xiaolian shone in the competition, everyone would know how outstanding she was. Jiang Yandong thought that Tanguo said those words out of anger. He did not expect that when he returned that day, he would find that Tang Guo had already moved everything and returned to the villa next door. He anxiously went to find Tang Guo, wanting to explain something. "Brother Yan Dong, I've said it very clearly. I came to find you today to inform you about the cancellation of the engagement, not to discuss it with you. Xiao Guo, is there no way to salvage the situation?" Tang Guo stood at the door and said calmly, "No, because in Brother Yan Dong's heart, I will never be the most important. In the past, I placed you in the most important position. After a long time, I feel that it's not fair and I'm not happy. Since you're not happy, then don't continue. I've already informed Mom and Dad, as well as Uncle and Auntie. They replied that they will try their best to come back this month to resolve this matter." When Jiang Yandong heard that, he knew that there was no way to salvage the situation. "I really didn't do it on purpose yesterday. It's just that Xiao Lian, as for what happened to Xiao Lian, I don't care." Tang Guo said, "I only know that my fiancé went to spend the night with another woman in the middle of the night. Whether it's innocent or not, to me, it's unacceptable. Brother Yan Dong, you don't have to say anything else. Our engagement has been annulled and we are all free people now. In the future, you can go out whenever you want. No one will mind if you go out and play with the opposite sex anymore. Isn't this good? I hope you can reconsider." Jiang Yandong said tiredly. He did not know how to explain that there was really nothing between him and Xiao Lian. He was just worried about his teammate. "There's no need to reconsider. Brother Yan Dong, it's late. I should go to bed." Tang Guo closed the door. Jiang Yandong stood outside for a while before he had no choice but to leave. When he returned to the villa, he received a call from Xiao Lian. "Jiang Yandong, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that calling you out today would cause you so much trouble. Anyway, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault." Xiao Lian's apologetic voice sounded. "Are you okay? How is Xiao Guo? Has she forgiven you? She still insists on canceling the engagement with me. I'm really sorry, Jiang Yandong. I didn't expect that it would cause such a big consequence. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's my fault." Xiao Guo is more concerned about these things. Thinking of Xiao Lian's pitiful look, Jiang Yandong could not blame her. The two of them talked for 20 minutes. Finally, Xiao Lian was comforted. Jiang Yandong was ready to go to bed. After a few days of chaos on the internet, peace was restored. This was the age of information. The netizens' memories were very bad. But they realized one thing. Tang Guo did not update her status. Chapter 2007. The netizens left messages asking why Tang Guo had stopped updating her status and if something had happened. After a few days, there was still no response. They went to Jiang Yandong's status to leave messages, wanting to know how Tang Guo was doing. Jiang Yandong called Tang Guo and told her about it. That account was created for Brother Yan Dong. "Now that I've decided to annul our engagement, I won't use it anymore." This was Tang Guo's reply. Jiang Yandong replied, "But a lot of people are worried about you." Then Brother Yan Dong, please tell everyone that I'm fine. Brother Yan Dong wouldn't want me to tell everyone that our engagement has been annulled, right? Jiang Yandong choked on his words. If he wanted Tang Guo to post that their engagement had been annulled, there would be a huge uproar again. He didn't have much time left with Xiaolian. He couldn't let Xiaolian be scolded again because of this matter. "Okay, I'll help you pass on this message." Jiang Yandong had just spoken when the call was hung up. He held his cell phone and was stunned for a moment. In the past, Tanggua had never hung up on him like this. In the end, he helped Tanggua to tell the netizens that she was safe. Only then did the netizens give up. But they still waited for Tanggua's updates every day. One Chinese website. Come in a short period of time, they had already gotten used to it. Every day, when they had nothing to do, they would watch her videos and listen to her voice. Now that she was no longer new, they could only look at her previous posts. After looking at them a few more times, they realized that almost every post was related to Jiang Yandong. Through her voice and words, they could feel that she liked Jiang Yandong. As they listened, they thought, with such a girl who likes Jiang Yandong so wholeheartedly, it would be unforgivable if he did something wrong to her. Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian continued to train together in the club. However, due to old man Zhao's accident, Xiao Lian's condition was not very good. This matter had already been publicized. Currently, many people were looking forward to seeing what kind of results Jiang Yandong's teammate would achieve with the best cooperation. Therefore, the person in charge of the club decided to let Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian spend more time training in the club. Xiao Lian didn't want her condition to affect Jiang Yandong. Seeing that everyone was working so hard, their condition was gradually recovering. At present, the seniors she knew were already helping her find the treasures her grandfather had stolen in order to reduce his crime. Anyway, at present, her life was saved. Regarding this, Xiao Lian finally heaved a sigh of relief and began to train with peace of mind. It's not fun to stay in the house all day. Come to our club to play. Lin Tong called Tanggua. Tanggua asked, "Won't I disturb your training?" System, this woman is very fake. Why would I disturb us? Just sit by the side and listen. Also, we don't have to send everyone for every match. Those who don't have to go can just chat by the side. Everyone here likes you very much. They say that your voice is very nice. Everyone asked me to invite you over. Let me tell you, they even heard you play the piano in the past and said that it was very nice. Lin Tong continued, "Come over. There are a lot of your fans here." Alright then. If I keep rejecting them, I'll feel bad. Tanggua finally agreed. I'll ask Madam Chen to make some snacks and bring them over. On the other end of the phone, /M. Com/want to chat with more like-minded people about. Chapter 2008. Madam Chen accompanied Tanggua to the Lindsay Sports Club. After all, she was bringing a lot of snacks today, so Madam Chen had to help her carry them. When they got out of the car, Lin Tong, Lin Xian, and a few others were already waiting at the entrance of the club. Seeing that it was her family's car, they quickly ran up to her. Lin Tong was the fastest. She hurriedly held on to Tanggua's arm. They greeted Madam Chen and took the snacks from her. They told her that they would take good care of Tanggua and let her go home in peace. When it was time, they would send her back and the chauffeur didn't have to come to pick her up. Seeing this, Madam Chen's eyes welled up with tears. Although she had never been to the club, Jiang Yandong's teammates had been to the villa before. Comparing the two, it was clear who treated Miss Xiaoguo better. Looking at the young men and women in front of her, they were so close to her Miss Xiaoguo that they even came out to pick her up personally. They would smile and say thank you when they ate the snacks she made. It was obvious that they had good upbringing. She remembered that when Jiang Yandong brought people back to the villa for a party, it was noisy the whole night. When she came to clean up in the morning, there were melon seed shells all over the floor, the sofa, everything was a mess. When these teenagers saw her, they didn't say a word and left the villa with their arms around her shoulders. She was hired by Miss Xiaoguo's family, not by Jiang Yandong's family. When the two of them got engaged, it was Jiang Yandong who suggested that Miss Xiaoguo stay in his villa so that he could take care of her. In fact, other than helping Miss Xiaoguo with things that were inconvenient for her, she could take care of herself. And Jiang Yandong didn't take care of her at all. Did he think that by bringing her home, she would be taken care of by him to ease the guilt in his heart? In any case, Madame Chen had never been satisfied with Jiang Yandong. She always felt that this person's actions were different from his words. In fact, she was very happy that the Tangguo wanted to break off the engagement. Seeing that Tangguo had a new friend, Madame Chen smiled as she got into the car. In the car, she texted the family Tang couple, who were busy with their research. She sent them everything she saw. Miss Xiaoguo was living a good life now. She didn't need Jiang Yandong to take care of her. Tangguo didn't know about Madame Chen's rich inner thoughts. She had already been warmly invited in by Lin Tong. They had chosen a seat for her where she could clearly hear everyone's conversation. During this period, no one neglected her. There were always people sitting beside her and talking to her. Most of the people here were from the Lin family. They had set up this club to entertain themselves. Of course, it would be best if they could achieve good results. Therefore, this club was basically established by the Lin family's descendants with their own pocket money. Not to mention that they had their own ways to make money under their own names, they didn't need any sponsorship at all. If there were any big events, how could the Lin family not support the few young ones? Therefore, many people actually hoped to be valued by this club. Unfortunately, the people in this club were in the same circle. It was impossible for outsiders to get in. After all, joining this club was equivalent to getting close to the circle of the rich second generation. Probably no one wouldn't want to join, right? Madame Chen's culinary skills are really good. Next time we go look for Xiaoguo, let's bring her a little gift, Lin Tong said happily as she bit into a snack. Everyone agreed. Chapter 2009. Brother Xiao, Brother Lei, and the rest are going to train now. I'll tell you about their battle situation later. Lin Tong sat beside Tangguo. Brother Xiao might have just started playing this game, but Brother Lei said that he's the most talented. Oh yeah, his hand speed is also very fast. Lin Tong added, everyone says that it's because he's been single for 19 years. Tangguo couldn't help but laugh. Did he train his hand speed because he'd been single for 19 years? How long has Brother Xiao been playing this game? It's only been 2 or 3 months, Lin Tong said softly. You don't know how big Brother Xiao's goal is. He said that he wants to defeat Jiang Yandong in the next competition. He wants to represent our country in next year's international competition. Although it doesn't sound very possible, we can't undermine his cousin. Everyone is encouraging him. Tangguo smiled and said, when I went to the competition venue previously, Brother Xiao explained the situation to me. He has a deep understanding of this game. Maybe he can really succeed. If he succeeds, that's naturally a good thing. The elders in my family said that if we can really represent our country in the international competition, they'll get all the club's funding from them. Not only that, but everyone will be rewarded with 10 million. If it's the best player, it'll be 50 million. TSK, these elders are quite generous. Brother Xiao used to study Jiang Yandong's videos every day. It seems like he really wants to defeat Jiang Yandong, Lin Tong said as she observed Tangguo's expression. She realized that she wasn't nervous or worried, so she relaxed. It seemed like Xiaoguo was really planning to forget about Jiang Yandong. Okay, they're starting training. I'll help you. Next, it was the club members' turn to train in the game. Lin Tong explained all the battle situations to Tangguo according to the big screen. Lin Xian's previous efforts weren't in vain. From Lin Tong's explanation, one could see how precise his control of a hero was. As she spoke, Lin Tong got a little excited. She hugged Tang Guo's arm and said, "Brother Xian has improved again. He has completely surpassed Brother Lei now." Tang Guo listened attentively. She did not know that Lin Xian knew that she was watching from the side. He used all his energy to train for this game. As a result, everyone in the club realized that he had taken a huge step forward in just one day. Seeing that Lin Xian had improved so much, Linley had already decided to select the most outstanding members of the club to work with Lin Xian. In the future, their training would revolve around Lin Xian. He had a faint feeling that perhaps Lin Xian really could defeat the undefeated legend of Jiang Yandong. He used to admire Jiang Yandong, but after the Tang Guo incident, he looked down on Jiang Yandong. After the training, they took Tang Guo to eat. After eating, he even took her to a famous opera in the evening. In short, he had never neglected her along the way. Looking at these, the system felt very comfortable. Indeed, it was in a good mood when it saw how happy its host was. It made a wish that this team would represent its country in the competition next year. It heard that Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong would be working together for the first time next month. Let it curse for a while, if there were any accidents, hee. In the end, Lin Tong and Lin Xian sent Tang Guo back to the villa together. Chapter 2010. Madame Chen looked at Lin Tong and Lin Xian with a smile on her face. What made her feel even more flattered was that Lin Tong actually brought her a small gift. She said that she liked the snacks she made and specially brought a gift to thank her on behalf of everyone. This made Madame Chen overjoyed. Miss Xiaoguo definitely wouldn't be at a disadvantage if she played with these young men and women. She had to report this good news to Sir and Madam when she went back later. "Xiaoguo, Brother Xian and I will come to pick you up tomorrow. In our club, Brother Xian and I are the most free. The other brothers still have some classes from Monday to Friday." Lin Tong smiled and said, "But don't misunderstand. Brother Xian and I don't do proper work because we are the smartest." Brother Xian had already taken the necessary classes when he was on the mountain and graduated long ago. As for me, I graduated long ago. The rest of the brothers aren't as smart as us, so they are busier. Lin Tong's words made people laugh. Before saying goodbye, Lin Xian walked in front of Tang Guo and said, "Why don't I save my number in your phone? If anything happens and you can't find anyone else to help, you can call me. Xiao Tong just said that I'm quite free. Other than training and playing games, I have a lot of free time." "Okay." Tang Guo unlocked her phone and handed it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian took her phone and saved his number, then dialed it. His lips curved and he put the phone back in Tang Guo's hands. "Don't worry about troubling me. I'm single." Lin Xian said softly, "I don't have plans to date at the moment. You can ask me for help anytime." With that, he held his phone and quickly turned around and walked away. Lin Tong stood at the side and blinked. She looked at her bald cousin quickly getting into the car. She didn't know how to describe it. She said goodbye to Tang Guo and quickly got into the car as well. Something was wrong with Brother Xian. That he's single sounded weird. Tang Guo took her phone into the house and said to the system, "He told me that he's single." That was hilarious. Was he so direct? He was right. He was single. Now that Madam Host is single, it's normal for her to develop something. Sure enough, it was that guy's usual style. Once the host was single again, he couldn't wait to put himself in the position of being by the host's side. Then ask him to come over and help me change the lights next time. The villa hasn't been occupied for a long time, and the lights haven't been used much. They'll break easily. System, he raised both hands in agreement. There were only 3 days left until Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian's debut. The officials of the club and the team had already announced the news. He even made beautiful posters for the two of them. Most people had forgotten about the incident between Tang Guo and Jiang Yandong. Of course, if something happened again, they would remember it very quickly. Before that, Tang Guo's parents and Jiang Yandong's parents had already come back. Under Tang Guo's unyielding attitude of wanting to break off the engagement, both sides ended the engagement peacefully. Tang Guo returned to being single. As for Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian's debut, everyone was still looking forward to it. After all, it was the first time in so many years that they saw a female member compete. Especially when the club released short videos of them training together, which aroused everyone's enthusiasm. As a result, Xiao Lian gained a new wave of fans and was once again the moon surrounded by stars. At the same time, something happened to Tang Guo. Brother Xian, what did you get someone to move to my house? A piano. Tang Guo paused. I can't play it now. Even though my hand has mostly recovered, it's not as good as before. Also, I can't see. It's for your own entertainment. When you're free, you can play it casually. It's not bad. Lin Xian placed a thick booklet in Tang Guo's hands. I had this custom made. See if you can find any musical notes. If there are any problems, let me know. I'll get someone to make it again. Okay. Tang Guo replied and asked with a smile, Brother Xian, you're really free. You actually fiddled with these things. But I like it very much. I'm just afraid that you'll be bored. I see that you often listen to piano music and your phone ringtone. You probably like it, so I thought of this idea. Didn't you say that other than your eyes being inconvenient, you're actually a normal person? Since you like it, then do it. No matter if you play it well or not, you'll like it. It's best if you're happy. Chapter 2011. Thank you, Brother Xian. Tang Guo sat in front of the piano that was newly placed in the corner of the room. Her fingers landed on the piano keys, and she pressed them lightly. The sound of the piano rang out. The originally quiet room seemed to have suddenly become lively. You're welcome. As long as you like it. Lin Xian stood to the side with a smile in his eyes. He watched as Tang Guo's fingers landed on the piano keys continuously. Although the sounds were not coherent, to him, it was the best sound in the world. I haven't touched this for many years. Tang Guo said, why didn't I think of using Brother Xian's method in the past? I can't see the notes, but I can touch them. When I play, I can't see the notes, but I can memorize them. Now that I have a lot of time, I can memorize a little every day. In a month, I should be able to memorize a complete piece of music. Lin Xian looked at her happy face and agreed, that's right. He glanced at Tang Guo's hands that were placed on the piano keys. Her fingers were still very slender and white, but the faint scars on them could not be ignored. Your hands were injured before, so you might not be as nimble. But this problem can be solved, although it will be more troublesome. Tang Guo asked, although I move my fingers often, they can only recover to 75%. After all, I injured my bones before. Is there a better way? Lin Xian moved a chair over and sat beside her. He said softly, I know a kind of massage technique that can help your hand recover to its best condition through the use of acupuncture points and massage. Knowing the massage technique was fake, but being able to cure diseases was real. Lin Xian had a body of internal energy. In this state, he knew that he could use internal energy to channel it into the acupuncture points and slowly improve the flexibility of the fingers. Even if the bones were injured before, they could slowly recover after a long period of internal energy nourishment. It's that magical. Tang Guo clearly knew, but she had no intention of exposing him. System, that's great. We can hold hands in broad daylight and massage their knuckles. What a good excuse. This fellow was all-pervasive. There are many magical things in this world, Lin Xian said slowly. To be honest, my parents sent me to live in a temple on the mountain when I was young. What he did every day was basically practice martial arts and read books. The training I'm talking about is not ordinary training, but something that you all think is very magical. The kind that flies over eaves and vaults over walls. Yes, you can understand it that way. Although it's not as exaggerated as in the TV series, you can fly all the time. However, with the help of other external forces or walls, it was still very easy to climb tall buildings. As for the acupuncture points I'm talking about, I'm using my internal energy to stimulate them. Although it will take a long time, I can guarantee that your hand will definitely recover to its best state. Not only that, he had already called his master and asked him to prescribe some medicine. When the time came to use it, it would be twice the result with half the effort. It could also help to fade the scar on her hand. He looked at Tang Guo's lifeless eyes and frowned. As for her eyes, unfortunately, he couldn't think of any solution. Then I'll have to trouble you in the future, Brother Xian. How could Tang Guo not agree to such a good thing? It would be a waste if she didn't flirt with a handsome guy who came knocking on her door. Chapter 2012. Ever since Lin Xian told Tang Guo that he could help her regain the mobility of her fingers, he had been in and out of the villa frequently. The young men and women of the Lin family all knew about this. When they heard that Lin Xian could help Tang Guo regain the mobility of her fingers, they were very happy. And Lin Xian would come to the villa every afternoon to massage Tang Guo's fingers. Although Tang Guo could not see his expression, she could feel that he was bald and had a serious look on his face. Lin Xian's hair was originally a little long. Perhaps he was used to being bald since he was young. A few days ago, the system told her that he had gone to the hairdresser and shaved off all the hair that had grown out. How is it? Does it hurt? Lin Xian held Tang Guo's hand and gently pinched her joints. He carefully transferred some inner energy into her hand to nurse her back to health. It doesn't hurt. I just feel a little itchy in my bones. There seems to be a warm stream of air flowing inside. Indeed, after 2 days of Lin Xian's massage, Tang Guo could feel that the mobility of her fingers had recovered quite a bit. Previously, her fingers would still feel sore and slightly painful. But these 2 days, she felt less of such symptoms. System, actually, he was a little suspicious that the host did not treat it herself so that this guy could perform. Of course, he would not expose this. In these 2 days, Lin Xian would also tell Tang Guo stories about him growing up in the mountains. No wonder Brother Xian is so nice and helpful. It turns out that you grew up in such an environment, Tang Guo said. Lin Xian was unhappy when he heard this. He quickly said, actually, it's not like that. I don't help people casually. Oh, then why are you helping me like this? Lin Xian was stunned. Why was he helping her? Was she pretty? He just wanted to help her and was willing to help her. Was it not a good idea to say that? Anyway, he really wanted to help her. As for why, he did not understand at the moment. Because I heard the video of you playing the piano in the past. Lin Xian quickly found an excuse for himself. I realized that you are very talented and I don't want to see you stop here. So, you helped me because of this. Master once told me that in this world, a genius who works very hard because of an accident is the most pitiful. The music notes you play are very beautiful and should continue to exist. Tanggua smiled. Brother Xian, have you heard the story of Shang Zhongyong? I haven't touched the piano for many years. At my best age, without training, I can't reach the level that my teacher once talked about. Now, my hands have not recovered to their best state, and I can't see. The result might disappoint you. What I'm saying is that I hope this beautiful melody will continue to exist, not to reach a certain height. Even if you can't become a world-class pianist, you can still continue to do what you like. If you like something, do it with a happy mood. Even if there's no height, there's depth and affection. Happy music can make people happy when it reaches their ears. Brother Xian, I suspect that you've entered the wrong profession. You shouldn't be any sports player, but a monk full of wisdom. Lin Xian thought to himself, isn't that right? He had almost become a monk last year. He was just one step away. As for now, he was very glad that his teacher and family had stopped him. Otherwise, he would not have been able to see the prosperity of the city and meet her. Chapter 2013. Tomorrow is the debut of Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian. That afternoon, Lin Xian came to the villa as usual and massaged Tanggua's fingers. As he said this, he observed her expression. When he saw that she was calm, he relaxed a little. Initially, he did not want to talk about this, but she would know about such an important matter sooner or later. He might as well tell her about it and go watch a match. It might even help her forget about Jiang Yandong. That was right, that was what he thought. He thought that Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian were really close recently. The two of them had called off their engagement and gone to see Jiang Yandong. Now, she would completely give up and live a good life on her own. He also heard that a few members of Jiang Yandong's team had been especially attentive to Xiao Lian recently. The team also frequently posted some exciting videos of Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian's training on their official Weibo account. That Xiao Lian did have some skills. He had to admit that with her cooperation, Jiang Yandong did perform at a higher level. The main thing was that the two of them were really in sync. Because of these videos, the two of them also attracted a wave of fans. As a result, the things that Jiang Yandong and Tanggua had caused previously were gradually forgotten. This made him very dissatisfied. Xiao Lian was the only female member of the team. Just this identity alone was enough to attract the attention of many. Especially because she was very beautiful. When she played games, she was also very direct and efficient. She was very popular with the esports fans. Actually, he also wanted to go and observe the cooperation between Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian at a close distance. After all, they were his future opponents. Brother Xian, are you planning to go? Tanggua asked. Lin Xian nodded and said, yes, I will have to fight against Jiang Yandong sooner or later. Now that he has a capable assistant, I can't miss any of his matches. Analyzing the opponent's weaknesses and learning their strengths is something that must be done. Then I'll go too. Seeing that Tanggua didn't mind at all, Lin Xian's heart really relaxed. The two of them chatted casually. Madame Chen sat at the side cutting fruits, her face full of joy. This young man was not bad. Although he liked bald people who didn't have a hairstyle, he was really nice to Miss Xiaogua. He looked at the piano in the villa, the music score that was suitable for Miss Xiaogua, and the fresh flowers placed at the side. Almost every day he came here, he would bring 2 bouquets of beautiful flowers and place the vase next to the piano, adding a lot of color to the quiet house. What made her even happier was that Miss Xiaoguo said that her fingers had recovered a little after this young man massaged her acupuncture points, and she rarely felt soreness. She had reported all these things to Sir and Madam. She wondered if this young man liked her family's Miss Xiaoguo. She thought that she was not bad. They were all gamers, so why was there such a huge difference between them? Madam Chen thought to herself as she placed a plate of cut fruits on the table. Then she smiled and prepared to leave. She had to go back and write a text to report what had happened today. Miss Xiaoguo, what do you want to eat tonight? Madam Chen turned her head and asked. Her gaze fell on Lin Xian and she said, Xiao Xian, why don't you eat before you leave? Tang Guo read out the menu, which included the dishes that she heard from the system about Lin Xian's favorite dishes. Brother Xian, why don't you eat before you leave? Okay. Lin Xian agreed without hesitation. Jiang Yandong's match was in the morning. Lin Xian had already bought the tickets and calculated the time to pick up Tang Guo. Chapter 2014. Of course, Lin Tong, who had more free time, also wanted to watch the competition. She had heard from Lin Xian yesterday that he was going to bring Tang Guo to watch Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian's debut. She gritted her teeth at the thought of the two of them. Naturally, she would not miss it. She did not buy a ticket in advance, but this was not a problem for her. She saw the seat number that Lin Xian had bought. Early in the morning, she squatted at the entrance of the competition venue and wrote a note indicating that she was willing to pay a high price for a certain number of seats. Even if 1,000 was not enough to tempt people, someone would give up their ticket for 10,000, right? Anyway, she wanted to sit beside Tang Guo and Lin Xian. When Tang Guo and Lin Xian arrived at the competition venue, they saw Lin Tong waiting for them with a smile on her face and a ticket in her hand. How much did you spend? Lin Xian asked. Lin Tong said nonchalantly, about 10,000. I asked for 10,000, and the other party did not hesitate at all and gave me the ticket. Speaking of this, Lin Tong was a little proud. At that time, everyone was looking at me. They were probably upset that they did not get that number of seats. When Tang Guo heard this, she could not help but laugh out loud. Let's go in first. It's about to start. Some of the people who came to watch the competition recognized Tang Guo. Seeing that she was surrounded by Lin Xian and Lin Tong, they did not dare to disturb her. They knew Lin Tong. She was the daughter of the Lin family and had participated in many piano competitions. Almost every year, she would be in an international competition. Because of this, although she played esports at the Lin family's club, she never participated in any competitions. Because the training in the game was very intense, she had to protect her hands well. She was playing the piano. Tang Guo's appearance made these forgetful fans remember what had happened before. Before the competition even started, they took out their phones and started discussing it on the internet. Xiao Guo is here to watch the competition. Did you guys notice? I saw it. Miss Lin is beside her. She is super fierce. I don't dare to go over. Sob sob sob, why is Tong Tong so fierce? Is Tong Tong so cute? How is she fierce? That's right. Our Tong Tong is just protecting Xiao Guo. That's why she looks so serious. Speaking of which, today is Jiang Jiang and Xiaolian's debut. I was looking forward to watching the video. I wonder what kind of surprises the next few matches will bring us. I'm not really looking forward to it. It's fine as long as she doesn't drag our Jiang Jiang down. Yeah, it's her first time playing. I hope she won't drag us down and affect our performance. To be honest, I feel a little strange right now. What is it? Don't you think that the team's publicity is a little too much? So many things had happened between Xiaoguo and Zhang Jiang. In the end, the team even made them a couple. Anyway, I can't accept it. I think so too. Xiaoguo is here too. I wonder if she would feel uncomfortable if she saw it. In my opinion, Jiang Yandong is already engaged, yet he's still trying to be a couple with someone else. Isn't his table manners too ugly? Does he really think that he can do whatever he wants just because Tangguo can't see it? He's still sitting down there. How disgusting. Of course, some of these people were not saying these things because of Tangguo. As mentioned before, Jiang Yandong had trampled many people to death on his way to fame. There were many people who liked him, but there were also many who hated him. Now that they had finally caught hold of a loophole, how could they not make use of it at the crucial moment of the competition? Chapter 2015. Although the netizens were saying that Jiang Yandong was a scumbag and Xiao Lian was a mistress. But because it was a crucial moment in the competition, the two of them didn't have time to play with their phones. Naturally, they didn't realize this and it didn't affect them for the time being. When the competition started, the news of Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian being a couple had already caused an uproar on the internet. The main thing was that the club knew that Jiang Yandong had broken off the engagement, so they decided to make him and Xiao Lian a couple. They neglected the fact that although Jiang Yandong had broken off the engagement with Tangguo, he didn't announce it publicly. In the eyes of the fans, he and Tangguo were still engaged. Now that he and Xiao Lian were being a couple, wouldn't it make people feel disgusted? Those who wanted to destroy Jiang Yandong wouldn't use the pressure of public opinion to affect the two of them at this time. Although the two of them couldn't see it at this time. However, there were 3 rounds in the competition, and there would be a short break in the middle. During this period of time, everyone was inseparable from their phones. When there was no competition, many people would subconsciously look at their phones. Even if they didn't do anything, they would still want to poke at their phones. Moreover, these people would definitely think of ways to make Xiao Lian see this kind of news. As for Jiang Yandong, they felt that it wouldn't affect him much. Xiao Lian was a new member and it was her first competition, so she was the easiest to be affected. Jiang Yandong hasn't announced to the public that he has broken off the engagement with you. Lin Tong naturally saw the uproar on the internet and asked. Tangguo shook her head. No. He hasn't announced to the public that he has broken off the engagement with you and he's even creating a couple with Xiao Lian. Does he want to die? Lin Tong said gloatingly. After saying this, she quickly looked at Tangguo and saw that she didn't look worried. She asked softly, Xiaoguo, don't you care about Jiang Yandong anymore? I don't care anymore. He doesn't even like me and has broken off the engagement with me. In the future, he would be a neighbor, someone he knew. Whatever happens to him has nothing to do with me anymore. Lin Tong's expression was a little strange. Didn't she say that she liked him a lot? How could she forget someone so quickly? Net computer. I thought it would take you a long time to get over it. Netpsp. Tangguo said plainly, over the past few years, he has already worn away my feelings for him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have proposed to cancel the engagement. Lin Tong thought about it carefully and agreed. In the past, Tangguo was willing to do anything for Jiang Yandong. How could she break off the engagement with him so easily? It must be because she didn't like him that much anymore. How could Jiang Yandong be worthy of such a good girl? Lin Xian pricked up his ears and listened. When he heard Tangguo say that she didn't care about Jiang Yandong anymore, she had already forgotten about him. Unknowingly, he smiled. This smile was coincidentally caught by Lin Tong. She immediately revealed a meaningful expression. Interesting. No wonder she was wondering why Brother Xian was so free that he would consider everything for Xiao Guo. So this was the reason. The old sago tree was really blooming. Host, Lin Tong seems to have realized that your cutie is interested in you. Just now, she revealed a meaningful expression. From the looks of it, she seems to be very supportive of this development. Tang Guo, little Tong is a beautiful girl with good taste. The competition has started, Lin Xian said softly. Then, he automatically became Tang Guo's commentator. I want to chat with more like-minded people about that you're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.